Welcome to the Deep Dive. You ever notice how much you can learn just by listening to people talk about everyday stuff?
Absolutely. It's amazing what's hidden in plain sight, linguistically speaking.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We've got three, seemingly totally different situations.
Right. There's that frantic, last-minute holiday gift hunt.
Then the whole New Year's resolution thing we all go through.
Yep. And even just a quick, mundane trip to the dry cleaner.
Sounds random, maybe. But our mission here is to kind of dig into these and see what they tell us about, language, culture, maybe even just why we do things.
Exactly. And for you listening, think of this as a way to pick up on some of those everyday English nuances, the cultural bits, in contexts you can probably relate to.
Knowledge you can use right away.
That's the idea. We've got these great little snapshots of real life, and it's fascinating how much information is packed into what seems like simple back and forth.
Common phrases, yeah, but also the assumptions behind them.
Precisely, giving you that practical edge.
Okay, let's dive in. First stop, holiday chaos. Christmas shopping. Picture it's like Christmas Eve, total panic. Someone hasn't got a gift for their mother.
Oh yeah, that classic scenario. And the language just pops, doesn't it? The person shouts, Bill, you gotta help me.
Total desperation. And the friend's response, slow down, you're gonna give yourself a heart attack.
Which, of course, isn't literal medical advice.
No, not at all. It's just a really vivid way to say, hey, calm down. Breathe.
It perfectly captures that feeling of intense stress, like your insides are about to explode.
Exactly. And then the person admits, tomorrow is Christmas and I haven't bought my mom anything. I'm such a bad son. And then just point blank, I suck at getting presents for people.
I suck at. That's such a common informal phrase, isn't it?
Super common. You hear it all the time. I suck at math. I suck at remembering names.
Right. It means you're just really, really bad at something. It's casual, maybe a bit self-deprecating.
Yeah, you wouldn't write it in a formal report or anything?
Yeah, definitely not. But in spoken English, all the time, it expresses that strong lack of skill, but often in a kind of lighthearted way.
And then we get these examples of past failures. A ring that was 2 sizes too big, shoes 5 sizes too small.
That structured number sizes too big, small is super useful.
It tells you exactly how wrong the size is.
Precisely. If you need a medium and get an extra large, you might say it's 2 sizes too big.
And people exaggerate with it too, right? Like, this sweater is 10 sizes too big, just for laughs.
Oh, absolutely, for comedic effect.
So the shopper is worried about being tacky. Now there's a word, tacky.
Poor taste. But it's so subjective.
Totally. What's tacky to one person might be like high fashion to another.
Well, the dialogue gives examples. Clothes with lots of bows and glitter and shiny things. That's flagged as potentially tacky.
And leaving the price tag on, that's another one.
Yeah, generally seen as not quite right. Lacking thoughtfulness, maybe? Or refinement in how you present the gift.
So what's the suggested solution in this gift emergency to avoid being tacky?
A gift certificate, or what we often call a gift card now.
Right. It's basically prepaid money for a specific place.
And what's interesting culturally is how it's seen as slightly different from just giving cash.
How? Why is that?
Well, the idea is that a gift certificate shows you put some thought into it. Like, the person likes that particular store, or in the example, that Spanish language website.
So it feels a tiny bit more personal than just handing over bills, less transactional.
Exactly. Even if it's still essentially money, it shows you considered their interests.
Okay, this conversation also throws up some really useful phrases, fluency builders. Like when the friend says, take it easy.
Ah, take it easy. Great phrase. Helpful purpose.
Here it means calm down, relax.
Yeah. But you also hear it constantly as just a casual way to say goodbye.
Like, see ya later, take it easy.
Exactly. Very laid back.
And when the shopper finally owns up to his bad gifting history, he says, when it comes down to it, I can be pretty tacky. What's that when it comes down to it part mean?
That basically means, in reality, or actually, or if we're being honest, the fundamental truth is.
Okay. Getting to the core of it.
Yeah. Admitting something maybe you wouldn't normally say, first off.
And the friend's reply, yeah, tell me about it.
That one can trip people up. It sounds like, give me more details.
But it's not that at all, is it?
Nope. It's pure agreement. It means I totally understand. I know exactly what you mean. I've experienced that too.
So much empathy packed into just 4 words. It shows that culturally, we often prefer that kind of shared understanding over, like, long explanations in casual chat.
Precisely. It's efficient empathy.
The dialogue then kind of hints that thoughtful gifts, the ones that take time or really match someone's interests, are valued more.
Yeah, it touches on the sentiment behind the gift being really important in our culture. Practical stuff is fine, but showing you know the person.
Like getting tickets to their favorite band or something.
Exactly. That feels way more personal than, I don't know, a generic sweater from a big store.
Makes sense. It's the intention. Okay, let's shift gears. We survived the gift panic. Now on to something else that happens right after the holidays. New Year's resolutions.
Ah, yes. From exchanging stuff to trying to change ourselves, a classic transition.
And the dialogue points out the number one resolution, apparently, is spending more time with friends and family.
Which is interesting, right? There's an irony noted there. Why is that the top goal for so many people?
Yeah, the answer suggests it is because we're always on the go, constantly busy, focused on goods and services.
Okay, goods and services. That's kind of an economic or sociological term.
Right. Goods are things you can touch. Clothes, food, phones.
And services are actions people do for you. Haircuts, car repairs, teaching.
So the idea is maybe we're so busy making and getting goods and services.
So we don't have enough time left for just being with people. That seems to be the implication. It highlights a tension in society.
Between productivity and connection.
Yeah. That this resolution is so popular suggests we feel that imbalance.
And making these resolutions uses the word resolve. Like resolve to stick to your goals.
Mm-hmm. Resolve here means to make a really firm decision, a promise to yourself with determination.
It's different from solve, like solving a problem.
Totally different. Different meaning, different pronunciation. Resolve, solve.
Got it. We also hear about brand new running shoes that are yet to be jogged in. Classic resolution symbol.
Brand new. We hear that all the time, especially in ads.
What's the difference between just new and brand new?
Well, new just means not old or unused, but brand new really emphasizes the freshness, like straight out of the box, never touched, pristine.
Here's that sense of potential, like those shoes.
Exactly, full of promise.
Okay, let's grab some key phrases from this resolution section. First, on the go, describing our lives.
On the go just means constantly moving, busy, often doing things while you're traveling between places.
Like grabbing lunch on the go.
Perfect example. Eating while walking or driving because there's no time to sit down.
And then stick to something, as in stick to it, regarding your resolution.
Yeah, stick to it means keep going, don't give up, persevere even when it's hard. Like glue, you stay attached to your goal.
Don't let it fall by the wayside in February.
If you can.
And that brings us to gathering dust, the sad fate of many a gym bag or piece of exercise equipment.
It's such a visual phrase, isn't it? Gathering dust. Means something isn't being used, it's just sitting there getting dusty, neglected.
You can just picture it. An old guitar in the attic gathering dust.
Or those brand new running shoes, gathering dust in the closet.
Exactly. It really paints a picture, and the chat does touch on how hard it is to keep resolutions.
Yeah, the always on the go thing comes back. The example given is eating while driving.
Which is pretty common, unfortunately.
It really highlights that conflict, doesn't it? Between wanting more quality time, maybe slower moments, and the reality of packed schedules. The pressure to be efficient all the time.
Even during meals.
But there is that hopeful suggestion, maybe resolve something smaller, more specific.
Like having family dinner together once or twice a week.
Yeah, a concrete, achievable step. It emphasizes making small, intentional changes to build connection, even when life is hectic.
Okay, so we've done frantic shopping, big aspirations. Now for something really down to earth. A trip to the dry cleaner.
Right. Another one of those everyday errands, but still full of useful language.
The scene starts with someone rushing in, saying, "Thank God you are open. I have an emergency."
An emergency involving clothes, needing a dress and a suit, dry cleaned ASAP.
Okay, let's unpack dry clean. What is that exactly?
It's professional cleaning, but instead of water, they use chemical solvents.
Why?
Usually for delicate fabrics, silk, wool, or things with stains that water wouldn't get out or might even damage.
And the emergency here is because someone accidentally spilled beer on a dress, leading to a stain.
Right. A stain is just a mark that won't come out easily, like coffee stains, grass stains.
Got it. And spill is the verb you knock over a liquid.
Yep. Spilled the beer. Different sound from spell. S-P-E-L-L. Spill.
Spill. Good point. The customer also needs a shirt, ironed and starched. Ironing, we know, makes it smooth. What's starch?
Starch, the noun or the verb, is using a powder or spray to make fabric stiff.
Why would you want stiff clothes?
Usually for collars and cuffs on formal shirts. Gives them that crisp, sharp look. Keeps the collar standing up nicely.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. Now, some useful phrases from this dry cleaning dash. First, thank God.
Yeah, used here just as an expression of relief. Phew, you're open.
It doesn't necessarily have a strong religious meaning in everyday chat, does it?
Not usually, no. It's become a very common way to just express happiness or relief that something fortunate happened. Like, thank God I found my keys.
Right. And the customer needs the clothes ASAP.
ASAP, as soon as possible. Meaning right away, very quickly.
You can say the letters ASAP,
Yep, ASAP. Or pronounce it like a word, ASAP. Both work.
and the dry cleaner says they'll be ready by the end of the week.
That's a super common way to frame time. The end of the week usually means Friday, maybe Saturday.
And you can use it for other periods too.
Sure, by the end of the day, by the end of the month, by the end of the year. It just means sometime before that period finishes.
It's amazing, really. These little snippets, gift stress, big goals, getting a stain out, they show so much about how we talk and kind of how we live.
Absolutely. And hopefully this deep dive has shown how these common phrases work in real situations, giving you, the listener, vocabulary and cultural context you can actually use.
Yeah, tools for your toolkit.
That's the aim. Quick learning, but thorough with memorable examples.
So as we wrap up, maybe think about those New Year's resolutions we discussed. You know, the popular ones like spending more time with family. What do you think drives those societally?
That's a good question. What pressures or trends make those resolutions so common year after year?
And maybe, are there other ways to think about personal growth besides the big, sometimes overwhelming New Year's resolution?
Yeah, perhaps more sustainable approaches. It's interesting to consider that tension we talked about, the fast pace, the always on the go, versus that deep need for connection.
Definitely something to chew on.
And we really encourage you listen out for these phrases, these little cultural cues in your own conversations, whether English is your first language or one you're learning.
Noticing how it all works in context, that's where the real understanding clicks in, right?
Exactly. It unlocks a much richer picture of the language and the people using it.